We'd also like to thank our cameramen, Shane Franzone and Griffin Blake. They don't have the luxury of a booth, but they're braving it up out there in the elements.
They are braving it out up there in the elements, certainly. Those guys are the engine that drives the ship. Ships have engines, right? Yeah. They're the engines that drive the ship. Or the sail of our ship. Whatever nautical metaphors you wish to use.
Ball at the 40, and they hand it off to Michael Whiskey, and he gets about 9.
Just terrible play by the Eagles front four. Swing and a miss by just about everyone. It gets to the backers, and by the time it gets to the backers, it's going to be 5 or 6 yards.
So it'll be 3rd and 1. And you know what? If the Eagles can make a stop here, some of those wide open holes they've allowed, some of it will be forgiven, at least for now. They certainly have to adjust it so it doesn't continue to happen, but if they can bend and not break, it'll be huge. They hand it off. Larry Smith and a bunch of other Eagles in on the play, and I think he's going to get it, but it's going to be really close.
He's going to get it. He was able to keep his legs chugging after that. He's going to have enough. Well, close. They're marking him a bit short.
This is going to be interesting.
Upper Merion has to go for it, right?
I would assume so. Especially with the way they've been running it.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, with the struggles the Eagles' run D has been having, just imagine if Cheeseborough wasn't suspended.
Oh, if Cheeseborough wasn't suspended, he'd already have 200 yards rushing. He'd set a new high school state record against the way this front four is playing.
I mean, this guy is not only the leading rusher on this Upper Merion team. He's one of the best players in the area. Not running backs, players.
Players.
Well, they will indeed go for it. 4th and short. Flags before the snap, and if this is a false start,
they got a punt.
This is huge, and it is indeed on the offense.
Yeah, now Upper Merion's going to have to punt.
Absolutely.
They can't go for a 4th and 6 down by 7. It'd give the Eagles too much favorable field position. They're going to have to punt.
With their 280-pound punter.
Big punter. With the generosity of the spots they've been getting. Let's see if that continues tonight. This is the to watch for of the first half. Let's see what kind of spot this gets if the punt does indeed go out of bounds.
You know, Matt Klein is the punter, and I was watching him in the pregame warm-ups, and just effortlessly kicking 40-yarders, just effortlessly. His first one wasn't so good. Of course, the return run of the Eagles can certainly change the way you kick. This one's high and out of bounds right at about the short of the 30. Let's see where they mark it. They mark it right at the 30. That's not a good spot.
No. What they'd be wise to do is actually, Christopher Columbus taught us this when he was sailing on the Nina Pinta and the Santa Maria. He taught to orient via the stars. They could look at the sky and then look at the ground and see where sky meets ground and then kind of say, well, where does it go out of bounds? Let's mark it there. But no, they're purely ground-based. Kind of crazy if you ask me, because that's not the way football works.
Evan Battaglio joins Tracy Presley in the backfield, and Sheldon Mayer back as the halfback. They hand it off to Mayer. He goes to the outside. He's got some room. With a little juke, he's got a blocker in Battaglio. Down the sideline, Sheldon Mayer. He's gone, and it's his second long touchdown run of the game. Touchdown, Sheldon Mayer.
Sheldon Mayer is so much better than everyone else who plays football. That's the only commentary really there. I mean, he's better than everyone else. By a lot.
Well, that is his 13th rushing touchdown. Lucky 13th.
Lucky number 13.
Rushing touchdown. Of course, that doesn't include his punt return touchdowns, of which I believe he has 2.
Nor his receiving touchdowns. He'll be the offensive player of the year for the Suburban 1 Conference. If it's not Cheeseborough, it's between these two guys.
It certainly is. Extra points have been interesting even in the dry weather for the Eagles. Fox, the junior, puts it through.
Good old Gerald.
14-0.
Good old Gerald Fox in socks gets the job done again. With the Tweedle Beetle battle going out there in the Upper Merion rain and snow and wind-swept elements. Sheldon Mayer
he's exciting.
Is just great.
That juke he put on that Upper Merion defender, just unbelievable. And Evan Battaglio got out in front and just absolutely manhandled another defender.
And this is where Upper Merion's decision perhaps to not run on a couple of those plays where they tried to get a little cute might end up killing them, because sooner or later, and it's going to be sooner rather than later, you can't be running anymore. You're going to have to pass.
And the thing is, when they don't run and grind out drives, you gave the Eagles so many drives, so many opportunities for that big play. And now that they have 14 points, now you have to take some shots, and then that's when it gets ugly because you allow the Eagles defense to be able to make plays.
And after the game last year, I don't think the spirit of mercy is beating in the Eagles' breast tonight. I think that they're out for blood.
The Eagles ready to kick it away with Marcus Stewart. And it's a short kick, and it's recovered by the Eagles. Did it go enough yards? And it did. And the Eagles with a surprise, successful onside kick. Outstanding.
They want blood.
I mean, well, actually,
I don't know if that was planned.
Yeah. I mean, if that didn't work, we would be questioning like crazy. But wow.
Wow, they want
I believe
blood.
That was Brandon Shippen on the recovery, although difficult to see from here. But hey, they'll take it.
They're approaching this game with a Rambo-esque ruthlessness that is R-rated.
That was quite the risky move, but man, I actually would not have called that gutsy. As you don't think it was intentional?
Oof, I don't know. Mark, that was close. If that wasn't intentional, that was the best onside kick. That was the best accident I've ever seen.
If it was intentional, it was the riskiest move, and it paid off. Mayer tries to wriggle away from a Viking defender, but ends up stopped at the line of scrimmage.
I want to see, it drives me crazy. I want to see Roby get involved. I know that speed's not necessarily what's going to win this game, although there's two incredible Sheldon Mayer runs accepted. I want to see, though, Roby get involved. They got to use him in a meaningful way that makes him a contributor to this offense. He's too fast not to use.
I formation with Hill and Roby to the near side as wide receivers. All these Eagles covered in dirt. Their once white uniforms are brown. Mayer rushes forward for about 2. And Aunt Roby, guess how many times he's touched the ball this season?
I'm going to say about 10.
19. Where should that number be?
260.
I don't know about all that.
About 40 or 50. I wanted to, yeah.
Agreed.
I want to see him get the ball in his hands 8 to 10 times a game.
Can't argue that.
260. Well, that's a little excessive.
And very random. 3rd and 9. Shannon there drops back to throw. Throws it for Hill. And it's out of his grasp. Milo Hill unable to make the adjustment and the throw out of bounds.
Not a good throw by Mayer on that play. Roby was to the far side. I mean, I'm not going to say that he was wide open, but he had a step on his man, as he always does. And I think that's the main reason for my concern. Roby's so much faster. He's always got a step on his man. And as long as Mayer can get it there, it's going to be 6.
And with the high school game the way it is, so run based, and just one safety high, on the normal defense, as the Eagles call a timeout and give us a chance to discuss this. Because if you watch our sports show Monday, Wednesday, 5:30 here on NASD TV, and Saturday, Sunday at 2:30, I actually broke this down, where there's only one safety up top, and of course with a guy like Sheldon there in the backfield,
right.
he's got to be geared towards that. So then you just have the one safety up top. Roby is faster than the corner that's on him.
Right.
And that safety can't really help over the top because there's only one.
Yes.
And he's focused on the run.
Yes.
And, as you said, Aunt Roby's faster. Literally, he's faster than every corner he's going to line up against. Literally.
By a lot.
So he's going to have one-on-one quite often, and Shannon there has great arm strength. It just equals a great situation.
Yep. The couple times that has come to fruition this year, we've seen 6 points out of it. And Roby's a deadly weapon. He's going to be going to Temple for football. He's got a lot of speed, and I want to see that used a little bit more here.
Roby with 16 catches and 3 touchdowns in the season, and then 2 carries and 1 kick return.
He's got a great touchdown to catch ratio, and that's because of that speed.
Well, here we go with this punting game again. Taylor Hillenbrand stands at midfield, ready to boot it away. Oh, and the snap is a bad one. Milo Hill picks it up. He throws it, and it's caught. This is Brandon Shippen, still rumbling ahead. Unbelievable. That is the luckiest play I've ever seen the Eagles run.
We've talked about Christmas a lot tonight. B101 starting to play the Christmas tunes. Everything's kind of, the weather outside is frightful.
Indeed. That was
Santa himself guided that ball into Shippen's hand.
I don't know where that snap was headed, but Milo Hill picks up. Milo Hill is very capable of throwing the ball. He's actually one of the backup quarterbacks.
You mentioned that in the pregame show.
Yeah, and hey, he finds the loose change and cashes it in. They hand it off to Sheldon Mayer up the middle. Runs into a mass of Vikings, but gets himself about half of the necessary yardage.
Was that a planned fake?
Well, if it was, the snap ended up on the ground, and Milo Hill just picked it up. I thought he was going to run with it, and then he threw him Shippen.
Yeah.
And then Shippen with a lot of yak, as we like to call him, with those yards after the catch.
Yep.
And, boy, that was certainly interesting.
That's the word of today's game. Interesting.
And we said special teams could be huge, and, again, there it is.
There it is. We're the guys with the foreknowledge around here, like Minority Report. We're the precogs.
Well, we're in the red zone, so you know what that means. Evan Battaglio lined up at wide receiver, 2nd and 5 or 6. They give it off to Mayer. He's wrapped up in the backfield, and good run defense by the Upper Merion Vikings on that play.
Solid play there. The Eagles, though, if it's 4th down, you're going to have to go for it because I don't think that they're going to be
able to kick
this.
it. Yeah, and you certainly don't have enough room to punt. It wouldn't make any sense. So, yeah, So what you want to do here is just pick up about at least 5 or 6 so you don't have 4th and 11.
Get a manageable, yeah. You want a manageable 4th and to go for it. Although, it's going to give Coach Smith pause if they get to around the 10. If they get to around the 10, I think you've got at least.
They can probably kick it at that point.
They can kick it at that point.
I mean, they're not way out of field goal range. It's just
with the elements, yeah.
Mayer drops back under some serious pressure, steps up in the pocket. He's going to run it himself. He's got some room up the middle. And Shannon Mayer improvises and gets a nice chunky yardage.
Now that's going to put it into the realm of the field goal. That's going to be exactly as you said. He picked there, and they're coming on.
So it'll be 4th and about 6, and they will indeed go at the field goal. Smart. I like the decision. How about you?
Me too. Eventually, I mean, as you get later and later in the season, you can't always be going for it on 4th down around here. If you're looking for playoffs, you're going to have an established kicking game. We saw against Upper Dublin how that game beat us. So we got to get that established for us.
And this field goal would make it a 3-score game too. So big points laying out right here. Jared Fox is perfect on extra points so far. Let's see what he can do from this field goal. It's up. It is no good. Wide left, and Fox barely missed that one.
Barely missed it, but still missed it.
The snap was good. The hold was good.
Yeah.
But those wet conditions can be tough.
Those wet conditions can be tough, and the soccer-style kickers, the way they go about the business, the elements can really play a factor.
Special teams once again looming large.
Looming large.
Boy, the field is just soaked at this point. Legendre will hand it off to Zioli, and he dives ahead for a couple extra yardage at the end of that one, and he's got himself about 10. So that'll give the Vikings a fresh set of downs, and once again, the Eagles get gashed by that run with that big. He's listed as a tight end, but they're using him as a running back in the absence of Cheeseborough, and that's Tyler Zioli.
And I go right back to it.
They do, and they get themselves about 2 or 3 yards.
Yep. Until Norristown learns that they're going to get gashed up the middle, they've got to get better. They've got to buckle down, tighten up, and basically man up, as it were. They're not a good run defense.
2nd and 7. And the Upper Merion Vikings have not tried to get too cute. They have not tried to throw the ball too much. They realize that they're having success with this. They realize that, I'm sure they know that other teams have had success with it.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to it. They give it to James Brennan this time, and they throw him for a loss.
Finally, staying low. Terrence Edwards and Collazo team up on that play along with big 65 Marcus Robbins. The reason that play was made is because Terrence Edwards stayed low. That he beat the double team, and he made a really heads-up play.
And how big is it to be able to have a guy like Terrence Edwards being rotated in and out with those fresh legs? I mean, we talk about all the guys they have. Battaglio, Bloomer, Exum, Edwards. The list goes on and on.
Yep. And I like that they're going with the short sleeves tonight. They know it's cold. They feel it, but they're toughing it up.
They're manning up. 3rd and 7. Legendre dropping back. Throws it short for Brennan. Williams steps up and makes the initial hit and finally wraps him up. Great open field tackle by Derek Williams.
And Upper Merion will have to punt.
Boy, the Norristown tackling has been crisp tonight.
It has been
These
good.
wet conditions, it's tough, but they're making it look easy.
They're making it look easy, and I have to applaud them. Even though they're giving up way too much up the middle, I do have to applaud them on the fundamentals. They're doing a good job playing it crisp with the tackles.
Timeout.
Putting their man down.
Upper Merion. And will they punt this or will they go for it? It's a kind of a gray area because it's 4th and 3.
I don't go for this. I don't go for this if I'm Upper Merion.
Matt Klein's already gotten off a couple nice punts, and he's keeping it away from the dangerous weapons that the Eagles have back there, Mayer and the rest of them. But still getting off solid punts. He's not letting those guys scare him to the point where he's shanking it off the side of his foot.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely have to say that if you're Norristown here, you can't rely on a big special teams play every time. But I put a little bit more pressure. I put a little bit more pressure on the punter. I want Roby coming off the end, blocking that punt, or I want to send Akeem Boyd. There's some high snaps going on for Upper Merion. They're getting that ball up high. I try to exploit that if I'm Norristown. They haven't been putting enough pressure on that.
Now you got a guy like Roby, with that explosive acceleration and speed, and he's about like 6'1". Are you happy with him? They use him as like a punt rusher.
Right.
When he could be back deep. What do you think of that decision?
I like him on the punt rush team, but I want him back there on kick returns. That's my compromise.
That's good. They're going to go for it. They hand it off to Zioli, bounces it outside, and that's actually Legendre on the play-action quarterback sweep. And let's see if they give it to him.
If they don't make this, they look like goats. If they do make it, it looks like a heroic move.
This doesn't look good for Upper Merion.
It looks short from here, but they're going to measure. And you know how that's been all game.
Yeah. I can't see them getting this.
No, they're short. Or wait, are they? No, they are just short.
Norristown's
ball.
Short, or should I say inch?
About an inch or two short. I was just at the ophthalmologist, got my vision checked. Everything's up to speed. It looks like about 2 inches from here. That was close.
Man, it's been raining pretty much all day.
All game. All yesterday, too. It's been raining.
So while it's not a torrential downpour,
no.
The field is just soaking up all this wetness over the past 30 hours.
Power eye again. The Eagles know it's wet.
And they want to power it up the middle. 1st and 10. Play action. They actually hand it off to Presley, and he picks up a couple.
Using up a couple. That's what they do.
And at this point, the Eagles, with that 14-0 lead, can afford to play it however conservative they want. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they should sit on this lead, but they're at the luxury where they can take risks as they want rather than being forced to.
No, they're not forced to take any risks. They're not really forced to do anything. I play it straight. I keep running. I keep playing it cool. You don't have to feel any pressure if you're Norristown. You're in the driver's seat.
2nd and 7, but a passing formation, shotgun, and Battaglio and Mayer among the wide receivers. They snap it to Aunt Roby in the Wildcat formation. up the sideline. He's still going, and there's a flag, so it's probably going to come back. But I didn't even notice that at first. They put Aunt Roby back there to take the snap. Batalio, Mayer, wide receiver. And we've been begging for it, and we finally got it.
We've been begging for it.
It's going to come back.
We finally got it,
and
but
it was
it's
successful.
coming back. It was successful. I do it again.
It's great that we get to see it. I've been looking for this Aunt Roby Wildcat for the entire season. And they say they have 2 packages, one with Aunt Roby back there and one with Milo Hill back there. And we know Milo Hill can throw the ball. We saw it earlier in this game. And but he is one of the quarterbacks on this team. And
well, the one with Hill is going to be more of a designed passing. So the one with Roby, by necessity, is going to be more of a running play.
100% running revolved. But it'd be interesting to see Milo Hill back there as the Eagles get marked 10 yards back for holding. But it'd be interesting to see Milo Hill back there because he's as fast as a wide receiver, but he can throw like a quarterback. He's the ultimate weapon. He has 3 interceptions on the season, too. You want to talk about a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be 2nd and 20. I mean, Milo Hill's the number 2 wide receiver on this team. He's one of the backup quarterbacks, leads the team in interceptions. 2nd and 20. Mayer drops back. Great blitz pickup by Sheldon, but the pass only gets him a couple as Presley has to slide down to catch it. And in the high school game, you're down right there.
You're down right there. Not necessarily a fan of that play call. I don't hate it. I mean, I can't really condemn it, but he's sliding in the mud, bad condition.
It's fun, though.
Yeah, it's fun. A little slip and slide. Presley's definitely has the filthiest uniform out there now, so he gets to win that little contest.
I don't know. There's some pretty filthy ones.
There's some pretty filthy. That's true. Yeah, they're a bunch of filthy dudes.
Well, they lost yardage on that play. It's 3rd and forever.
All could be forgiven with Roby. Get him the ball.
Mayer drops back, throws it deep, and it's out of the reach of Anthony Roby. Well, they tried it.
They tried it.
And there was some contact there, but I guess
a little bit.
They just got kind of tangled up or whatever.
Not really pass interference.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the non-call.
Yeah, you can't make that call.
No, it was good. And, I mean, it's not like Roby was going to get there anyway.
Right.
So the Eagles will be forced to punt.
Now what they can't do is give up a big play on special teams. They've got to get Boyd down there. They've got to get good, solid punt coverage.
I believe that's James Brennan back deep. Hillenbrand boots it away. A booming punt lands at the 30, and Brennan decides to let it go.
Wisely.
And the Eagles will force Upper Merion to start their drive at about their own 23.
Wise decision. I agree with the let it go. Boyd was there and a host of other Eagles. The chance for fumble would have been very high.
And that punt results in – that was a great punt.
Yeah.
So we got 1:06 to go before halftime. It's still 14-zip Eagles in the driver's seat. Again, Upper Merion playing this game without their stud running back, Naeem Cheeseborough, who was suspended for his actions in last week's game.
Joey Lang back in there at tackle. They've been using him a lot today. Haven't seen too much of him this season. Lang is in the tackle rotation now with Bloomer. Split way too wide out. But a bonehead play by Upper Merion.
More pre-snap flags.
Big tackle split for the Eagles there. Now as they rotate 2 other guys back in. Number 78, Marcus Robbins, in there, along with number 80, Najee Harris. So they're going for the speed package because 81 Batalio has moved into a tackle, so they're going to be coming
Yeah, that rotation is unbelievable. And then you got guys who can play multiple spots on that defensive line too. They hand it off inside. This is number 30. And that's Tyler Zioli with a big game. So Upper Merion will take a timeout to stop the clock, and a big play for Upper Merion.
Big play by Upper Merion, and not a big play offense. So I wonder, what are they planning to do now? Are they planning to throw? or are they planning to keep it on the ground?
I think that their success in that most recent play might cause them to want to go for it now, as indicated by their usage of the timeout.
Right. But if you throw, and you throw deep, it's basically like punting in Norristown because their defensive backfield, they go from defense to offense very quickly.
Yeah, and at this point, if you're Upper Merion, you cannot afford to go down 21-0.
Especially with the Eagles getting the ball in the second half.
But at the same time, does their deficit force them to want to go for it because they don't want to go into the locker room down 14-0? I mean, 21-0's worse, but they got to do something. They're down 14-0 and they've been dead.
No, they've got to do something, and our offense has been anemic except for the running attack.
So I feel like they have to take that risk and throw it on the field.
Yeah,
as dangerous as it might be.
It's a backbreaker, though, if you give up a pick 6 here.
I mean, that's most certainly the case.
The game's over if you give up a pick 6 here with Norristown getting the ball in the second half. And they want blood because they are angry at this Upper Merion team.
2nd and 1, but more importantly right now is the clock. Legendre dropping back with a man in his face. That one was tipped, and that's Terrence Edwards. He tips so many passes at the line of scrimmage.
Terrence Edwards is like one of the main pass rushers for Norristown. He gets his hands on the ball. He has a couple sacks on the season. He really has emerged as a force for this defensive front four.
Just 5'10", but 245 pounds, and he's always in that backfield.
Always.
And he's great at getting his hands up and knocking the ball down. Far and away the leader of doing that on this Norristown team. Well, the clock's certainly more important than the downs, but you can't forget about the downs as it's now 3rd and 1. They got to get this yard at some point. So about 68 yards to go before the goal line for Upper Merion, and they have just 52 seconds. They give it to Zioli. He's wrapped up, and let's see if he got it. I don't think he did.
Clock continues to run.
Looks like they gave him a gain of about 1/3 of a yard maybe, and they're going to have to measure again. They marked it ahead a couple of feet, but
yeah.
I don't think a full yard.
There's weird measurements going on tonight here, Mark.
And those spots on the punts.
Yeah. They picked up this. It looks real close.
And he got it.
Yeah, they picked it up.
But now just 42 seconds. They still got a long way to go.
And the only thing that's been working for him is the run.
Yeah, so
Norristown will give up 4 yards now.
Yeah, the Upper Merion needs to get on the field, but as we said, the ramifications for a mistake are tough.
They don't even need to make a mistake.
The snap ends up on the ground, but they get on top of it, but that's going to cost them precious seconds and precious yardage.
I kneel on it.
Yeah, at this point, it might be time to pack it in. And the Eagles have Dinolfi back at about his own 45 to avoid some kind of a breakaway huge play.
To not kneel on it now is foolish.
I wouldn't disagree with it. Just 21 seconds to go. Second about a dozen.
If they throw this up, the chances of it getting chances of a pick 6 are incredibly high. Norristown's defensive secondary is very dangerous, and they love it when quarterbacks throw on them because it inevitably gets run back for a touchdown.
I mean, we're talking about how dangerous Sheldon Mayer and Ant Roby are with the football in their hands. You know, Mayer being the halfback, Roby being the wide receiver, as they do drop back to throw. It's thrown over the middle, and slipping down was I can't even read that number because there's so much dirt on their jerseys, but.
Milo Hill slips over backwards, but he would have picked that up, and he was waiting for the throw. He had his blockers all set up. It was like Hannibal crossing the Alps with the elephants. He had the blockers all running interference for him. That would have been taken back quite nicely.
Yeah, what I was going to say with, we talking about how dangerous and how fast the Roby are in there. These are the guys you're talking about that are the defensive backs for the Eagles. These guys that you keep referring to, where if they throw it up, it's going to be a pick 6. I mean, these guys are dangerous.
It's not if, it's when.
And now they just hand it off. Zioli with some room up the middle, and he slips down. And he'll pick up about 14, but the clock's going to run down.
Yeah.
5 seconds left.
Trying for one more play. barring some huge, just insanity.
They spike it as the clock began to run when they got the chains moved and got the ball set. So then they're able to spike it, and 4 seconds left. And now, do they? I mean, if your intention is to just run it or kneel it, you would not have spiked the ball.
Right.
So we got to imagine they're going to throw it up.
They're going to Hail Mary and pray for rain, as it were, or well, pray for sun.
I feel like I feel like they have just as much a chance of scoring as the Eagles do, though.
Yeah.
But, But at this point, with your deficit, you might have to take that risk.
You have to take the risk. Yeah, it's not smart to take the risk when you're 20 yards behind, but it's reasonably prudent to take it now. And now we get to see some arm strength, possibly. A little confusion.
We get to see how far he can throw it.
Yeah.
And we got some false start action going on.
That's been their MO today, these silly penalties.
And the Eagles' defense just setting up, just sitting back
to
avoid the big play.
Waiting to catch the punt.
Yeah. I mean, you say on the Hail Marys, just knock it down.
Yeah.
Of course, that's normally at the end of the game when it would already be decided.
Right.
But in the Eagles' case, you got to be going for that pick.
You're going for the pick.
Just because of the guys that we're talking about. And Rubiardi with 2 interceptions on the year.
Yeah.
Milo Hill with 3.
Yep.
Brandon Shippens on the field. He's got 1. Legendre in the shotgun. The snap is on the ground. He picks it up. He's still going to try to do something with it. It's caught by a lineman. That's illegal. And the flags now come out. And, boy, that was a gutsy and dumb move by Legendre to try to pick it up. Why not just jump on it and call it a half?
Gutsy, kind of dumb, kind of all points
ugly.
Between dumb, ugly, and gutsy. Yes.
I mean, if he like mishandles it when he's trying to scoop it up.
It turns Edwards is running that back.
Someone is, certainly.
He's rolling into the end zone.
But the foul is on the Upper Merion Vikings, and the Eagles will just say, let's end the half. And it's 14-0 Birds.
We'll see you guys back with the halftime show, halftime stats, and the second half. Till then, don't go changing. Dave Pizzini and Mark Kolodinsky bringing you Channel 28 exciting football action. See you in a few.